What's going on, everybody? Non here, and now that we're a couple weeks removed from getting all the new reprint boxes for uh, through stores and LGSs, and the dust has settled a little bit, I think it's time to go through the price performance of Scarlet Violet booster boxes and the specialty ETBs. So SV base, and last time I did this was the end of February, so it's been a month. 185 bucks. I think these were as high as 195. They've come back a little bit, but they're still up 31% in the last 3 months. Now, there's 229 available on TCG Player, 11 per day. So they're moving. And what you're going to see here is all of these products are moving relatively quickly. And it looks like the spike from the sales is just about gone from the Pokemon Day sale that I had run. So this will get back to a normalized, because when I pull average sales, I pull it from the most recent 30 days. Paldea evolved, 220 actually down a little bit there, as you would expect. Some more coming to market. 198 boxes listed. Supplies up about 13% in the last month. 20 of these moving per day. Obsidian Flames, 205. Paldea and Obsidian both up 15% in the last 3 months. Pretty darn good. Inventory is down 8% and 13 sales. So Paradox Rift, this is super interesting. So this has finally spiked up to $200. I'm shocked it took this long to do it, but it just kind of finally moved. The total quantity available in the market. I know a bunch of this is sold, but I also tend to think that people have pulled it off the market. So there's only 124 listed, 28 per day, but only 4.4 days of inventory on Pokemon or on TCG Player. So this is one to watch for, and then when we get to Stellar Crown, we'll look at that as well, because the days of the day sales and inventory for these two it's extremely tight. Temporal 198, same deal. This is finally up over $200 now that it's cleared off Pokemon Center. 123 boxes available. It's selling through 11 per day. Again, I don't understand why people don't love this set. There's a lot of good hits in the set. It's fairly well balanced. It's not just just 2 cards, but yeah, I think this is a sleeper that people will pick up on, down the line. Twilight. This has probably taken the biggest hit. It was as high as 230. Reprint hit. It's down to 210. We also got bundles at the same time. We're up to 230 boxes, and I did. There was one seller that had chunks listed pretty far down the line, so I did take those out just to normalize the results here. But the inventory is up 72% in the last couple months. Again, only 13 selling per day, which is interesting. It seems like the Twilight Masquerade, the demand is just not quite there. So Stellar 213. This is now the second highest box next to Paldea after surging and obviously Journey Together, which is remarkable. 36.5% best performing box in the best quarter. And again, I'm pretty sure I was told I was stupid for selling Surging and buying this. By the way, Surging Sparks is down in the last quarter. Only box that's down. Now, a lot of products come to market, but it is what it is. 25% increase in inventory over the period. But again, there's only 4.1 days of inventory now. 37 average sales per day. You take my sale out, that number is probably closer to 16 or 17. But still, it's getting tight, and there's nothing coming anytime soon. Surging Sparks, we're trending down here. I think we're just at the point where it's a good set. The set's there, but everybody's distracted by a bunch of other shiny things. No pun intended. So, 254 inventories up 20%. And then Journey Together. Not going to spend too much time on this, but 253 we're at today. I think we're as high as just under 300. We could talk about 3 month return, but there's 2,200 boxes listed, which is about what I thought it would be. Now, what's going to be interesting is from a sales volume perspective, since this box is so expensive, are we going to keep similar sales volume to Surging Sparks in quantity, or is it just going to mirror it in gross spin, in which case the sales volume is going to be down from a quantity perspective, but the total gross dollars of sales should be should be about the same and potentially up. So we'll see what happens there. 151, another all-time high, 215 bucks. These things just keep zooming. 113 listed, so 26% more than before. 28 average daily sales, lowest days sales of inventory in the market. I mean, these things are going to continue to go 250, 300 bucks, and it's going to be off to the races. Paldean Fates up at 128, and I want to kind of bundle Paldean Fates and Shrouded Fable together. Probably the first time anybody's heard that, but Paldean Fates is up 29%. Shrouded Fable is up 41.5%, but neither one of these really moves that much. Now, Paldean Fates is down 9% in supply. Shrouded Fable is down 75%. Again, there's one seller that has 300 and some listed, but there's not that much remaining out there. And we did see the Amazon dumps and the Target dumps. So not a whole lot to see with these two, although, I do love the Paldean Fates ETBs. They're going to be 200 bucks, probably by the end of the year as well. And then Prismatic, we're still in that 142 purgatory where we've been for a little bit. Now the total quantity is down to 560 or 567. So 66% decline from the beginning. There's still 76 of these selling per day. So, 7.5 days of inventory. I'm not sure what's going to push this over the hump and get this to move higher. I thought it was going to be at 145 last weekend, just looking at the sales volume online. I did not see any new ETBs coming to market. I think Magazine Exchange is bleeding them out a few at a time for stores, but that price doesn't make any sense to flip them here. So we'll see what happens there, but I do think there's a bunch of upside on that. So, the main items to watch here, the 151 ETB. And I've mentioned the Pokemon Center version is still undervalued. Stella Crown boxes, Paradox Rift boxes. I think, Temporal and SV Base are both slept on as well. The rest of the boxes, Paldea Evolve is going to be a $300 box if you can get them. Obsidian, not a huge fan. Twilight, not a huge fan. Stellar, obviously I'm a fan. And then Surging and Journey Together, just kind of remains to be seen. So anyway, guys, hope this was an educational update. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and join the Discord.